You know, we've done many challenges here on the channel, but one thing we haven't done is try to beat a Pokemon game posing as one of the characters. So that's what we're gonna do today. Can May beat a hardcorenuzlocke of Pokemon Alpha Sapphire? I think she can. So just to be clear, I'm not going to be using any Pokemon May has in the anime, but instead use Pokemon she only has in the games. And this can be from the ones she has in the remakes or the ones she has in the originals. Worth noting that the title of this video is Can May beat Alpha Sapphire, but technically it's Can your rival beat Alpha Sapphire? We have around 10 or so encounters to choose from, and for the starter I was going to pick Swampert, but might as well go with her signature starter, Blaziken. Yes, I know it's from the anime, but we have to honor Blaziken. As always, here's the rules on screen, and I will use Megas, but only for Primal Kyogre and Steven. Otherwise, this game would be way more easy than it already is. I mean, I don't know what the devs were thinking when they created this game, but how am I going to have access to Megas and be able to use them on every gym leader? Like, if I was a dev, I would have made every gym leader's ace have a Mega to even the playing field. Alright, maybe not every gym leader, because Roxanne with a Mega Nose Pass or something like that would be crazy. But heck, if I made my own game with little virtual monsters, I'd give you the option to make the game harder, point blank, but that's just me. But hey, I'm not a developer. What do I know? But you guys can be with today's sponsor, Southern New Hampshire University. SNHU has one of the largest accredited non-profit online degree offerings in the country. Let's look into their game development program, something I've always been interested in as a kid. In this program, you'll learn so much, including how to create dynamic gameplay experiences with game AI, physics, 2D and 3D graphics, and interface design. Not only that, but you'll learn coding languages such as Java. You know, Java, how Minecraft was made. Who hasn't played that game? The courses are taught by industry experts who will teach you to research, develop, and be a part of something bigger than just making a game. It's about progressing more into this world of ours that we adhere so much and make it better than it already is. SNHU is radically affordable. Their rates are some of the lowest in the nation. So what are you waiting for? Go to snhu.edu/justjules or go to my link in the description to see what the current average annual salary for a programmer is, and if you want more information, you can always request it on their site, where an actual person can call you and discuss more with you. Hey, you'll never know if you don't try. Can't tell you how many times I've decided I wanted to be a game developer. But now I'm doing this. Thanks again SNHU for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it. You know, May has a weird room. Like, why is this bed facing the wall like this? And on top of that, her trash can is in front of it. Who has their bedroom set up like this? Alright, I guess Brendan is the same way. Alright, let's stop worrying about how 10-year-olds set up the room and grab our starter, Torchic. I named him Timmy and unfortunately had this attack reducing nature. As always, you get a prize for guessing the nickname theme based on this name alone, and this time the prize is a hug. Yeah, that's all I can offer. Moving along. So I did make this challenge about May, but of course, like I said before, it's can your rival beat Alpha Sapphire? Obviously May will get more clicks, so you gotta respect that. I did level up to level 7 because this rival fight here is definitely losable at level 5, and we nearly lost here. Our first wild encounter is going to be a Wingull on Route 103. May doesn't have a Wingull in Ruby and Sapphire, but she does have one in Emerald. I named him Chester, and we got an impish nature. Fuck! Now if you're wondering why we're playing Alpha Sapphire instead of Omega Ruby, it's because Lotad is a version exclusive, which by the way, check out my previous video. And yeah, our rivals only use Lotad, never Nuzleaf. Alright, these natures suck balls right now. But anyways, I named her Wanda. Who can hate that derpy face? On Route 104, we found a Tailo, and man did this take a while to find. I know it's a 5% chance, but still. This time we actually got a neutral nature, and I named him Poof. I'm sure by now the nickname theme has been guessed. Tailo is an amazing encounter, as it has guts and it gets facade, and that's stab, so yeah, Swellow is a beast. By the way, I won't be EV training any of my Pokemon this time, and I'm going to see how that affects the game, as it's been a while since I haven't done it. I don't think it'll affect it too much. I still think the game will be easy. The only thing is I'm gonna have to figure out other strats in terms of outspeeding Pokemon, if I can even do that. Anyways, on to our next encounter, and this is our last one for a while, so we gotta make this team last. Shroomish was one of my faves as a kid, and it still is. Breloom is such a cool Pokemon. And I also just figured out it's gonna be in Scarlet and Violet, so that's amazing. I kind of wish it got a Mega. Honestly, I can't believe why Ludicolo, Shiftry, Breloom, and even Swellow never got a Mega. Just doesn't seem right at all. But obviously they rushed and stuff, considering the whole Flygon didn't get a Mega. I named her Trixie, and man, does this nature blow. Come on, game. Also, we got Poison Heal, and I think this is the first time I've gotten Poison Heal on a Shroomish. Kinda forgot it gets this ability. The good news about the first gym is that Wanda evolves immediately at the cap, so basically this isn't a hard gym at all. It doesn't make it any better that you can skip every trainer in this gym if you wanted to. Anyways, I led Wanda herself and I actually misclicked on natural gifts, so not a good way to start off the fight. The good news though is Absorb is quite effective and we're evolved so we can bring her down to her sturdy, getting health back as she rock tombs us. She is going to potion, which works out great for us since it won't heal her to full, resetting sturdy, and now we can knock out Geodude, getting almost all of our health back in the process. As for Nosepass, it was a measly 3-hit KO, although she did try to crit us with Tackle. Sorry Roxanne, but I still have like 4 other Pokemon on my team. I'll never know why the level cap literally goes up 2 levels in these games, from the first gym to the second gym. But yeah, thankfully in this game the EXP share can be toggled on or off, and I'll never understand why they took that away from us. Seriously, I think I'm just gonna become a game developer myself. This is kind of ridiculous. You know, if you put some glasses on Mr. Briny here, he'd look like Master Roshi. Or maybe he is Master Roshi. Now for Brawly, I went back to the Petalburg Woods to poison myself with Poison Sting from a Wurmple. This way Guts will activate during our fight. I doubt we need this, but we need to show Brawly what he's in for. Anyways, that being said, a single wing attack for both Machamp, and yes, Machamp, I wrote that in the script, and Makuhita is enough to KO them both in one shot. Wow. That's the fastest Brawly fight I've ever had. It's sad. I wish they gave Brawly at least one more Pokemon, although that wouldn't really change the outcome of this fight. Imagine if the entire game had these overworld sprites. That's what the Sinnoh remakes should have been. What a waste. Look, even Poof makes light work of Team Aqua with Guts. Right after this, Timmy evolves into this beauty. Looks like we're eating good tonight, boys. Now for the infamous rival fight on Route 110. Now oddly enough, Shroomish lived a Guts boosted wing attack. One more did finish the job, and an Oranberry can pop thanks to Poison, but now I'm kind of scared of Slugma since it has Rock Throw. I don't really feel like risking it, so I went into Wanda on an Incinerate out of all things. Anyways, from here I went for a Fake Out and then went for a Bubble that didn't quite kill. One more finished the job and Marshtomp came out. Now I'm really hoping Wanda can pull out some magic here and outspeed, so cross your fingers guys. We don't, but he went for a Mud Slap instead of Mud Bomb, so we're chilling. Honestly, we missed 3 times in a row with Absorb, so I just went into Trixie since she has Mega Drain. A single Mega Drain can get him super low, and now we just have to not miss, and we don't, so that's the battle. I didn't think Shroomish would live that wing attack, but oh well. Honestly, these two remind me of that one episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender that tells the story of the 2 people separated by mountains. Wait, how did that song go again? Secret Tunnel! Now Timmy here makes Watson look like a wimp every time. In Mavo, we come across the TM for Power Up Punch, and even if we didn't get that, we got Bulk Up from the previous gym, meaning this fight is unlosable. We hit a Power Up Punch doing half, and he paralyzed us, but don't worry, Timmy here is holding a Cherry Berry. From here, another one can finish the Magnet off, and Voltorb comes out. As he went for a Charm, I used Power Up Punch, not quite killing him, but he will use a Potion now, meaning one more punch, and the ball goes back to a Pokeball. Huh. From here, Magneton is Watson's last Pokemon, and he missed a big Supersonic, meaning this fight is all wrapped up. I really have a feeling you weren't trying, dude. He kinda reminds me of General Iroh. Right after this gym, I headed up to Route 112 for some new encounters. First, we got this Numel who is adorable, and she was named Vicky. We did happen to get the ability Simple, which will double our stat changes. Now, unfortunately, in the Fiery Path, we can come across 2 encounters which collide with each other, meaning we can only get one or the other. This would be Magcargo and Torkoal. I'd much rather have Torkoal, but we'll see. They both have a 10% chance of encountering, so who's it gonna be? Alrighty, it's Torkoal. Thank the heavens. Nothing against the scoiling pile of magma, but I'd rather not burn myself today. Thankfully, we caught it in our first Great Ball, and we named her Tootie, and poofed into a Swellow right after. Another terrible nature. But what can you do? For right now, I will add Tootie instead of Vicky since Vicky evolves at level 33. You know, if we weren't doing a nickname theme, Snoop Dogg would be a great name for him. I'm sure you know why. I love how Shroomish goes from this annoyed little mushroom to this happy guy. How could you hate this thing? This would totally be my partner Pokemon if I could choose. Alright, maybe aside from Mareep. Now I just want to show you guys how broken a Guts boosted Swallow is with Stab on Facade, and with a Silk Scarf attached. And this isn't even with EVs on Poof. I mean, there's a reason this thing is called Poof, because everything it touches just goes poof. Archie literally stood no chance against our baby fairy. Unfortunately for our next gym fight, Poof won't be able to poof Torkoal in one shot, but Pelipper here can do the most. Now obviously Slugma here is no issue, but we do level up to level 29 before Torkoal comes out. A single brine can get her Torkoal super weak as she sets up a sunny day. But it doesn't really matter as I have Metronome on Chester, which will make brine more powerful the more turns I use it in a row. So even with Sunup, we did a sizable chunk, and if we hit it again, it can actually get a bigger roll, knocking Torkoal out, which is why I thought that was better than putting a water boosting item on Pelipper like the Sea Incense. Go study, Arthur. Alright, it's time for the face-off against my dad. See, slacking is no joke, and the one way to deal with them is through Protect, but of course they purposely made it so that Protect is all the way in Lily Cove, so we gotta do something different. Now Pelipper does get Protect, but I don't know. I guess I was scared of Vigoroth, so... But realistically, Pelipper probably could have done this. Anyways, at this point in the game we can reteach moves, so I taught Chester Tailwind. Turn 1 we can take a Retaliate, and I set up a Tailwind. Now on his Truant turn, we can switch into Trixie, our Breloom, who I pre-poisoned since she has Poison Heal. We now have 2 turns of Tailwind left since the turn we set it up counts as a turn. Now there is one thing I forgot about, and that's Encore. Basically he used Encore on us, meaning now I can only use Swords Dance. The good news is he wasted a turn, and Truant turn lets us get another one for free, meaning we're at +4. The plan originally was for him to use Yawn or Retaliate as we Swords Dance and use 1 power-up punch before the Tailwind runs out and Swords Dance again. That would mean we're at +5 and a Mach Punch could potentially kill. But instead here we are. Regardless, I'm at +6 attack and his Retaliate did more than half, but with Poison Heal healing for 2 turns thanks to him loafing around, we get a bunch of health back. The Encore ended right after his Truant turn and we do have Mach Punch so he won't Encore again. Now at +6, we definitely murder everything on Dad's team. We level to level 31, and Vigoroth gets a Mach Punch. Basically, when I plan to be +5 attack, this slacking has a chance to live, which is why Poison Heal is so good, because without a crit, we'd live and still win the fight. But that doesn't matter as we're +6 and a Mach Punch 100% kills. Alright, not quite as planned, but still good. Worth mentioning, I did have a Chesto Berry for his Yawn. Now that we've defeated Dad, we can make our way toward Winona, and during the trek we evolved Icky Vicky here into this beauty. By the way, you'd be surprised how many good moves they give Numel early on. She already had Earth Power and Lava Plume before level 30. Our ability Simple is also turned into Solid Rock, which is alright, but I really thought we were gonna get cursed with +2 attack and defense boosts. Look at the determination on this kid's face. We literally swept him easy, and then look at his face after. He's like, damn bro, you didn't have to do all that. You know, I was training Poof here to be almost level 36 for Winona, and I stumbled across a Tropius, which is on May's team in Pokemon Emerald. I caught him and named him Crimson Chin for very obvious reasons. Now with Poof all leveled up, I challenged the one and only Winona. Despite her name, there will be no winning today from her side thanks to Poof. Well, it would have been Poof if she didn't have Skarmory walling my facade. So instead, Vicky is up. Vicky can immediately take an Aerial Ace and get 1 curse up, raising our defense and attack by 1 stage. Premier Swellow went for a double team, allowing us to get another one off for free. She did it again as she's frightened for her demise, and now we Amnesia for Water Pulse later on her Pelipper. Winona finally attacks again, and unfortunately she didn't pop our berry, but a Rock Slide can take care of that. Now Pelipper can Water Pulse, leaving us super weak, but thanks to Solid Rock, we lived and popped our Citrus Berry. 1 Rock Slide can destroy the Seagull that sucks way too much dick. Anyways, Altaria is sent out next, since of course she's not going to let her Skarmory come out and die. This is troubling because Altaria is going to hit us with an EQ, and I probably won't live a move to kill Skarmory. I decided to go into Poof on an Earthquake since we're immune, and we leveled up during this fight, so now we're level 36. 1 Guts boosted Facade should kill, and it does. I had a Silk Scarf just in case. Now 1 Facade can't even do half the Skarmory, and his Steel Wing does do a good chunk to Poof. We definitely can't stay in here, so I switched into Chester on a Steel Wing. Chester's pretty much the only one on the team who can do something against this thing. Unfortunately, half of our team is affected against flying types. But yeah, after a couple of surfs, Winona has been defeated. Now if you didn't turn off your game as soon as you beat Alpha Sapphire, you would know that May or Brendan will have a Raichu on their team. So we can catch one here in the Safari Zone. I named him Jorgen, and he has a naive nature. Yo, I haven't seen a single one of these people blink or move in about 5 minutes. Kecleon, keep doing your job, you're teaching him great. Right before another Brendan fight, Timmy here evolved into Blaziken, and now he can finally be useful. I also evolved Jorgen here with a Thunderstone from Super Training. Don't worry, I didn't EV train any of the actual team. Someone stole my Pokemon! Who's the abductor? Is it Team Aqua? Well, considering Team Aqua has invaded the entire city, I'd assume yeah. Yeah, it's Team Aqua. Alright, it's time for another Brendan fight, and I let our new teammate Jorgen. I started double teaming to get the +6 evasiveness, and on our 4th one we actually paralyzed his swiggo, which was nice. When we're finally dodging everything in sight, his aerial ace pops our citrus berry. Now we can charge beam, and of course, we miss. But he got paralyzed. Our 2nd one hit, and we got a nice special attack boost. Now of course Swampert is going to protect, but right after, Jorgen here can get a grass knot off, knocking this thing out in one shot. As for Magcargo, it also died in one shot. This time to a Thunderbolt. And of course Breloom has to ruin the party, living on half. And he even tried to read our mind. So I'm assuming Brendan is completely lost in this fight. It's okay, maybe battling isn't for you. Now that we're done with that, we can go catch another water type Whalmer. And you bet I used the Master Ball to catch her, because she is God. I named her Chloe and she has a lonely nature. Well, she's not lonely anymore, look at that smile. And now she has no smile. Darn. Well, it's okay, we need that serious attitude for our next gym fight. Taya and Liza are usually never too hard if you have a water type, and in this case we have an amazing water type move. That being Water Spout, which I had no idea hit both Pokemon on the field, so even better. Now unfortunately Solrock did get up a sunny day, reducing Water Spout's power, but Crimson's Razor Leaf just about did it to them. Lunatone did use a Light Screen though, which isn't good, and now Solrock can just get off free Solar Beams with only one turn. Now since they're both going to cheap out and use potions, I just used the same moves as before and we still got them pretty low. They are faster than us, but I haven't taken damage, so I think we're good here to live any moves. I did forget that Tropius has Chlorophyll, which means we are faster now because of Sun. So we get off a Razor Leaf, missing on Solrock. Ah, great. Just my luck, but thankfully the moon dies. And right after, Solrock gets a big Solar Beam off and Chloe here can wrap up the fight. The moon can't survive without the sun, and vice versa. Things would go out of balance. But hey, how would they know that? They're just children. Moving forward to whatever we just walked into. Maxie, get up! You look pathetic. Doesn't Maxie know I have a Guts Facade Swalo named Poof? We're good, Maxie. Stop being overdramatic. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Oh, and yeah, goodbye. With a very unnecessary crit. Maxie, get the fuck off the floor! And now he's all calm with his hands behind his back. Like, right now, with the whole storm going on outside, is when you should be on the ground begging. Now for Primal Kyogre, I evolved Wanda with a Water Stone since she is neutral to Ice Beam. 2 Grass Knots should be enough to KO the beast after Fake Out, especially after getting a big crit on Grass Knot. I also forgot we have Swift Swim, meaning we outspeed, so yeah, this monster was dealt with pretty easily. Oh, Wally. You're so useless. Anyways, it's time for our final challenge, Wallace, and I led Trixie. My plan was a Swords Dance and Sweep, but I forgot this little heart-shaped friend had Sweet Kiss, and well, it eventually caught up to me after taking a reduced Yachi-berried Ice Beam. Sorry, girl. The confusion got the best of us. The good news is I had Wanda for backup, and this thing can't do anything to us. That is if, she didn't freeze us. Come on, man. Luckily I had a Citrus Berry and eventually thawed out after like 3 turns, but now we're almost dead. Wallace here though isn't the brightest trainer in all the land and just went for Recover as our Grass Knots were doing more than him healing. From here, Celia went down to 1 Grass Knot. As for Wishcash, well, that's a different story. This thing actually lived and fired off a Zen Headbutt, nearly finishing Wanda. Alright, I can't believe Wanda is still alive. Seeking actually doesn't die to a Grass Knot as it's a 2-hit KO, so I switched into Crimson Chin, but of course Wallace gave up and just went for Rain Dance. After this he used Aqua Ring as I Swords Dance, and after trying to flinch us, which did in fact happen, by the way, we Razor Leaf, destroying the little fish. Banana Chin for the win! Breloom's great and all, but I mean, let's be honest, who likes Trixie anyways? Evergrande City, where there's no actual city, and it's just a Pokemon Center. You gotta love Game Freak. I mean, I really expected a place like Winden back in the day, but no, it's just this, and a big cave behind it. Bro, Wally looks like the type of kid who just gets bullied in school, and it almost makes me want to let him win this fight. Almost. What makes it even weirder is that this fight was so out of nowhere in the remakes, and there's really no build up towards it. It's just kind of there, and his theme really has no business being this hard. Anyways, for his Altaria, I used Facade as it's a clean 1-hit KO, and of course the 3 Magnets come out. Fearing a Discharge, I go into Vicky, but Wally is a G and predicts me, so he uses Tri-Attack. Sheesh. From here we take a Flash Cannon, popping our berry, as we retaliate with an Earthquake using up his Sturdy. I guess Wally does use potions, but he actually ended up freezing me with Tri-Attack. Alright bro, I'll give you my lunch money. Now I came in on a resisted Flash Cannon with Jorgen, and a Thunderbolt finishes the triplets off. Predicting a toxic from Roselia, I went into Poof, who's already toxic. Of course, the little flower can't live, and now Delcatty is out. Since a Facade won't kill Mega Gallade in one shot since its defense gets buffed, I went into the Crimson Chin to set up the +2 attack. I did have to do this for a couple of turns as Delcatty does have Charm and it's faster, so I needed to be +6 before finishing this thing off since it might charm us before we get a chance to kill it. Once we do, we fly and destroy the kitty as Crimson falls in love. That's rough, buddy. Finally, Gallade is out and it's going to Mega Evolve and slash us, popping our berry. Now a single fly is enough to just straight up demolish this thing. Give me your lunch money, kid. Alrighty, it's that time of the video, guys. The Pokemon League. I've changed the team up a little bit as I didn't think Vicky, our Camerup, was doing anything, and Tootie the Torkoal just got Shell Smash. I also think Wanda is great since it gets Ice Beam. Anyways, our first challenge in the Elite Four would be Sydney. Wait, isn't that a girl's name? Now don't let his name fool you. Sydney is very difficult. Nah, I'm just playing. Poof literally just waved his toy around and everything poofed away with Facade. We did almost die to Fake Out, plus poison, plus rough skin damage, but everything's fine. Poof is a straight savage. I didn't even need the battle effects on there to prove my point. So for Miss Smelly Cat here, she leads an annoying Dusclops with Confuse Ray. I brought Crimson Chin here because we have Whirlwind. This way we can try to Whirlwind her out into Dusknoir to set up on. But Sableye came out, and thanks to Dusclops' curse, I switched into Jorgen, who managed to static this thing. From here I switched into Crimson again and took a mean foul play, popping our berry. Now I tried to roost until I was healthy to Whirlwind again. Once I Whirlwinded into this thing. But right after he confused us, we broke through and guess who came out? Dusknoir. A useless piece of shit. Fearing an Ice Punch, I hard switched into Tootie, who just ate that up for breakfast. From here I start Iron Defensing and Shell Smashing, although she is using Hex, which on her second one popped our berry. This is pretty bad as I didn't expect it to use Hex and instead use her physical moves. So I Shell Smashed and this hurt. A lot. Basically, I didn't think this through and Tootie paid for it. Well anyways, I sent out our second best bet, Timmy. I bulked up 4 times. On our third one, we did pop our Citrus Berry. From here, of course, everything is going to die to a Fire Punch. Dusknoir, Dusclops, Banette, second Banette, and Little Sableye just don't stand a chance against Timmy and his fairies. As much as it is a bummer, I couldn't get a sweep off with Tootie. She will not be forgotten. Wait, who was I talking about again? Now, if Timmy did all that to Phoebe's ghost types, I'm pretty sure you can imagine what happened to Glacia right after. Sorry, Glacia, but Timmy hasn't really gotten any true action off video, and he's just letting it all out right now. So for Drake, he's going to start off with that Altaria. Our plan here is Jorgen so that we can set up Rain for 8 turns with Damp Rock. Turn 1 though, I Light Screen as he will use that Dragon Pulse. His only physical move is Aerial Ace, and obviously he won't go for that since Raichu is out. From here I set up Rain as he goes for a useless Cotton Guard. Now all we do is Volt Switch into Wanda on a Dragon Pulse, which will do a whopping 17 hit points to her. With Rain up and our Swift Swim ability, we can outspeed everything on her team. Altaria dies to a quad effective Ice Beam, so does Flygon, and thankfully Salamence did come out third, and I'll explain why that's good. And the reason I figured it would come out is because it has Thunderbolt. Worth noting, I do have the Never Melt Ice on Wanda here to increase Ice Beam's damage, as Mence has the chance to live here without it. From here Kingdra comes out and we can't just Ice Beam it to death. Instead, it's a nice 3-hit KO with Grass Knot, and Rain would eventually go away, which is why Mence needed to come out before this thing. Now I click Grass Knot, and oddly enough, we did do half, so in this scenario, it's a 2-hit KO thanks to everybody's stats. He did Dragon Pulse, but we're living, and one more Grass Knot KOs Kingdra. This is great because I'm pretty sure my last turn of Rain is this one right here against this final Flygon. Just in time to outspeed with Swift Swim for the win. Wow, everything worked out perfectly. Now it's really time for the ultimate challenge. Let's see if May can beat the Hoenn champion, Steven. I got a pretty good strat here. Steven is always annoying since he has 2 Pokemon with Sturdy and a Mega on his team. But per my rules, I can use Mega Evolution so as long as my opponent has the potential to do so, and he does. So basically I led the Crimson Chin here and taught him Sunny Day. We took a brutal Aerial Ace and used it. From here I hard switch into Jorgen, who's obviously going to come in on something that we can take. In this instance, it's Toxic, which is fine. Now Jorgen can Volt Switch late, and this is because he's holding a Lagging Tail, which you can get off Wild Slowpoke. But Jules, you can't get Slowpoke in this game. Well, viewer, you can, and it's from one of the Mirage Islands you find while riding on Latios or Latias. So with that, I Volt Switch late, and now Timmy can come in for free without any damage. Alright, aside from those puny spikes. Since Steven is going to heal, we can instantly Mega Evolve and boom, get a Swords Dance off with Sun Up. Now from here I Fire Punch this thing down to Sturdy and he Aerial Aced us. It looks like we can live one more, but I came to the realization that even with Heat Rock on Ludicolo, the sun wouldn't last all the way to Metagross. I've played this game many times to know that he has more potions, but he probably won't use them here. But regardless, I still went for a sword stance, and would you look at that, Steven used spikes. Now we're at +4 and we can sweep everything on his team. One kick to the face for Skarmory and Aggron comes out. This is his second Pokemon with Sturdy, but thanks to double kick hitting twice in one turn, this will ignore Sturdy and take Aggron out in one hit, or in this case, 2 kicks. From here, Claydol comes out, and at +4, a Fire Punch is enough to destroy this Dreidel just in time for the holidays. Cradily does die to a double kick, and we burn our Maldo for dinner. As for Metagross, I completely forgot Timmy here has Speed Boost as his ability for his Mega, which is great because there's a chance we didn't outspeed without it. But now we 100% do, and we can smelt this chunk of metal into a nice great sword. Alright, the strat wasn't foolproof by any means, and I kind of effed up with the sunny day, but it worked, didn't it? So can you beat Pokemon Alpha Sapphire playing as May? Hell yeah you can, and you don't even need an EV train to do so. If there's anything you should take away from this video, it's that Banana Tree, aka the Crimson Chin, will be in Scarlet and Violet, and that should make you very happy. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I had so much fun making this one, and I'll see you all in the next time, whether that's in another challenge video or in Scarlet and Violet. Bye guys!